Okay, so we've been looking at singular and plural all week. I consider super important to practice as much as we can because it's not as simple as we might think sometimes. You know, it's not just putting the S on a word. It will depend on the word and the concept, okay? So we were talking the other day about things that are like two in one. For example, scissors, correct? It's one item, but we consider this as a plural because it has two handles for your fingers. Just like, for example, your clothes, like your pants, your tracksuit, your trackies, shoes, correct? These are one item, glasses, one item, but really considered as plural. So here are other things too that are considered in the same way. And so it says there are 10, only 10 here in the box. Let me see if I can make it bigger so, yeah, we can all see these words, okay? Good, because I'm a bit blind myself. So 10 of these are considered one object, but we consider plural, okay? So let's have a look. Binoculars. What are binoculars? So binoculars is when you want to see far and you look like this, correct? So this would be tick because it's one item, but with two eyes, correct? So this one, definitely, yes. It is a noun, normally only used in the plural, okay? Trousers, yes, two, because we said that the pants, the jeans, the trackies, two legs, but connected, so one thing, absolutely. Slippers, no. No. Juki's like, Juki, is it possible if you have two slippers? Yeah, the slippers. You have two. The dog takes one. Now you have one left. So is it plural? No, it's not two in one. Understand? This, two in one. I'd have to break them to separate. You understand? So slippers, no. It's not considered a plural. Because, you know, if I'm missing a slipper, so I can say a slipper, hey, the dog took a slipper. Where is the slipper? So just the one. So then no, it's not considered a plural. Okay, next. Pants, yes, because pants, same concept of the trousers. Sunglasses, yes, same as the glasses. What about gloves? So gloves, no, two hands. Correct? Good. You're thinking good, huh? Yeah, Tashi got it. Okay, so gloves, no. So gloves, what we put on our hands, you have two hands, you can lose one glove. Very common. Huh? And you can have only just one, so no. What about tongs? Now, tongs are when you're doing a barbecue and you flip the meat. Tongs, you right? So yes, can be. And the tweezers, correct? The women, we use the tweezers, yes. So also correct. See how we're thinking? Two in one, two in one. The tongs, the tweezers, yes. It's plural, but only one thing. Okay, corkscrews. No. No. Emails. No. Headquarters. Now, the headquarters today are what we call the HQ. And what is the HQ? The main office. So headquarters. Is it considered always as a plural? Yes, it is. It's, many offices. So yes. And pajamas? Yes. Yes, because 2 pieces. And the shears? Yes. What are shears? Shears are like scissors, but they are for cutting the wool off sheep. So let me show you. I think 1,000 words are better. Sorry, a picture is better than 1,000 words, as we say. So these are your shears. So for cutting the wool off the sheep. And also, you can use, these are shears too, for the garden, for the hedges. They're also shears. So there are different types of shears, okay? There are different types, yeah? For different things. So these are shears. Yes, absolutely. 2 in 1. Rulers? No. Swimming trunks? Yes, because swimming trunks are shorts, like pants. So yes. Okay, let's count. I think we have one. We have one that is not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is correct. Good. How did you girls go? Honey? Good? Yeah? More or less? Okay. Yeah? Chuki? Good? More or less? Ashi? Yeah? Molly? Yeah? Okay. Good. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so now it says fill in the gap with a plural word that means the same as the words in brackets. So here they gave you the idea and you had to think of a word. And this says the first letter is given. So it says her luggage was searched by the customs. So customs is when you enter a country, it's customs. But I think maybe you see on TV, it says border police or border authority or border, something like this. But it's like border protection, border control, has different names. Yes? It's still the same. It's customs. Customs. Any country you go, you have to go through customs because passport. Where are you from? What are you doing here? Do you have a visa? Can you come in? Etc. You're good to go. Right? So that is customs. I've been to many countries. It doesn't matter if you need a visa or not. You still have to go through customs. The only place where you still do customs anyway. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. Yeah, because I'm thinking like if you go back to Chile, you still have to do customs. Yeah. Still have got to do the line and they stamp, and welcome home. But I'm thinking in Australia, no, we don't. I come home
I just put my passport in the machine, and then it takes the biometrics, like scans my face, and then just opens the door, and I just go home. Like here in Australia, no, we don't do customs. Just thinking, because as soon as you walk out, they have the machines, and you put your passport. Bali's the same. Oh, they just go through. Yeah, I think so. In New Zealand, yes. When I stop in New Zealand, I have to, I'll tell you what, even if you're in transit, I hate it, because if you're in transit, you still have to get your bags out. You have to go out. The bags go through the machine. They check your passport. Okay. And then they let you go. But you're not going to New Zealand, but still they check, perfume and things like this. Yeah. They take away the deodorant. So, yeah. Every country is different. Okay, so it says officials at the airport or port. Port is when you're traveling on a cruise. Well, yeah and no. Because immigration, they're the ones specifically that see your visa, the application. But customs are the authority, like the police. Exactly, aduanas. Yes, that is correct. It's aduana. Okay, next one. So it says, in the concert hall are excellent. The sound, the quality of the sound. So what do we say? The acoustics. Good. Acoustics. Yes, is correct. The acoustics in the concert hall are excellent. Look at that word. Such a big word, huh? The acoustics are really, really good. Okay. Good job. We complained to but it was a waste of time. The people in power. What do we call the people in power? No, not administration. So it's not the administration. We were just talking about it. Could be another way to talk about people that are in power, like the prime minister, the ministers, what do we call them? Thank you. Authorities. Yes, the authorities. Thank you. Authorities. Authorities. Okay, next one. It says the of each chapter are listed at the beginning of the book. So what is in it? Look. Exactly. So at the beginning of the book, it tells you and you see. Yeah? What does it say? Sorry, there. Contents. So the contents is the list, the list of things that are in this book. So it's telling me each chapter. Yeah? This is pronunciation. That's why you only see letters. But if it's let's say a different book, so
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what book it is, correct? You see here, it's telling me all the chapters. So it goes it goes chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, etc. It has all the names. And this is how it's supposed to make it easy to go, oh, this is about that. I go on this, okay, and I go to that page. Easy. Huh? No, well, that's an index. Yeah, kind of, but yeah, it's similar, I suppose. But yeah, so we have the contents. It says a dangerous criminal has escaped. The police have no idea of where he is. So whereabouts? Yes. Good job. And the last one says, some of the on the lorry were damaged in the accident. So things to be bought and sold. The goods. Some of the goods on the lorry were damaged in the accident. The goods. Okay, so the goods. Beautiful. Any other questions? No? Good, right? Good exercise. Yeah? Have to think. So it's not just learning grammar, it's also learning vocabulary, right? Yeah. And like thinking about the vocabulary, like this vocabulary you're seeing, it's plural, but wow, it's only one thing. You don't think about this. So when you're writing, guess what? All these things, the acoustics are very good quality. The authorities are implementing new laws. All of these are because they are plural, not is. Yeah? So think about it like that. Okay, good job. Let's continue. So, okay, now we have these pictures. And so here we have to see, what are they? So these, of course, are, we could say trousers, if they are for men. Women use slacks. Okay, so these are slacks. You see the material is different. So slacks. Also, these could be pants. And so pants can be for men and for women. Okay? Yeah, so you can call these pants. But, you know, if I go into a shop and I ask, for example, excuse me, I'm looking for some slacks, you know, for work. And they will show me this type of material. Okay? Good. Number two,
These are what? Glasses. And if they're for the sun, correct? Sunglasses. In Australia, we also call sunglasses sunnies. Yeah, sunnies. So I'm going to put them here. So you have the glasses. You can have reading glasses, whatever. Some people have also glasses for driving. Huh? Yeah. So there are different types of glasses. So we also have our sunglasses. It is one word, yes. And then you can also, in Australia, we say sunnies, which are the sunglasses. So, sometimes if I go to a restaurant, I leave the sunnies on the table, I walk out, I forgot my sunnies. I'm just going to go back in and get them. Okay? Well, don't forget to bring your sunnies. Yeah? Sunglasses. Sure. Yeah. These ones. Okay. So you're going to say underwear. Underwear is general. It's for all. Okay? So let's start with the underwear. So it could be men, could be women. But these really, Tashi, are called panties. These are panties. Now, I don't know if these panties are Korean or not. But are you saying to me that that's how you call them in Korea, panties? Yeah. So these are panties. Now, I'm going to give you another one because we're in Australia, right? And in Australia, we speak horribly. Yeah? So in Australia, these are what we call knickers. 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 So, for example, what was it yesterday? Yesterday, a woman, she got on the bus and she was wearing a short skirt and she sat down and you could see all her knickers, And I kind of looked at her and I was like, she hadn't realized because she sat down with her legs open and I could see everything. So, those are the, not a good view, I know, the knickers. Yeah. They said, when Victoria was at school, her school uniform would go up. Victoria, pull your dress down. You can see your knickers. Pull your dress down. Huh? Yeah, exactly. Knickers. Men sometimes use boxers. Yeah, right. Which is the square one. Underwear. There's so many different names. Mm-hmm. Okay, these ones. So these ones you might want to say glasses, but they are not glasses. Okay? Now these can be for different activities. For swimming. Thank you. Yes, I have. Yes, because I like to swim in the sea, but the salt is very strong. So I wear these for the beach. Absolutely. Also, when you're welding, the welders, they put, and the welders, they have their mask and they're right, to protect their eyes. Another idea. Remember, the first airplanes, the people didn't have a cabin. So they would put their, these glasses and go in the airplane and fly. Formula One, also, they put on and they have their helmet. So always to protect the eyes. And for everything, working in construction, you name it. So what are these called? These are called goggles. Goggles. And so depending on where you use them will depend the name. So swimming goggles. If you're welding goggles. If you're driving goggles. Safety goggles. So we basically change what they are for and then just the goggles because they are different. So if you go into the shop and you say, excuse me, I'm looking for some swimming goggles. Sure, follow me this way. And you can get the Zogs, for example. That's a very common brand. If it's welding, the same. The goggles, they're not clear. They're usually dark glass, and they have different colored glass. If you're driving or etc., like depending on what it is, will depend on the goggles. When you go skiing, skiing goggles, they're the thick ones, yeah, for the snow, for the white. If you go snowboarding, motorbike racing, anything you wear, they always give you goggles. Okay, good. What about these ones? So these are a tool, very necessary. You can use it to pull out nails. You can use it to cut wire. I have one at home. So what do we call these? Tashi, you're a guy. What do you call them? Pliers. Absolutely. These are called pliers. When these pliers, so these ones are to turn, but here usually you can cut cables, electricians. The electricians, they use them a lot. Yeah.
It's different with tongs. Different with tongs.
Tongs are different, absolutely. Okay, sorry about that. So pliers, electricians usually use these for different things. These ones, scissors. So, and we just learned just now, right, that we have different types of scissors. So scissors can also be shears, correct? Absolutely. And this is actually pretty important because, I'm not going to go into Bunnings. Oh, do you have some scissors, like to cut the hedges? And they're going to look at me and they go, scissors? It's going to take you a long time. And it's like, oh, shears, cutting shears. And so, yeah, that's how they actually call them. Now, I know the guys in Bunnings, like the other day I went and I said, I'm so sorry, I need some help. I need this and this and that. I don't know what you call it because, I'm not used to. But, I'm just saying my generation, we depended a lot on men. So men took care of that. The men went to the Bunnings and they bought and, I find myself today in a new position where I have to learn. But you know, my daughter, Priscilla, oh my God, she is my handyman. She had, no, really, truly. You know, I moved recently and she came to my house with her toolbox. And in the toolbox, oh my God, I was like, I want one of those. And she's, Mum, what for? You don't know how to use these. So mean. But she does everything. She has her drills. She has like the accessories. She has her, what do you call them? Screwdriver, everything you can possibly imagine in her toolbox, like a magic box. And yeah, at home, you know, sometimes on the weekend, what are you doing? Oh no, just fixing this. And she, like, you know, if there's like a piece of furniture that's a bit, you know, wonky or whatever, she takes it apart, she puts it back together, new screws, fixes the what do you call them? The PowerPoint, everything. She's very clever. And I say, baby, let's call somebody. Like, this is for a man. Mum, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man. So this is what I'm saying. Today's generation is very different. They fix everything. Very clever. Very clever. She does the electricity. Oof, everything. But, you know, I understand too, because I go, how do you know so much, baby? Mum, YouTube. YouTube. Everything. You can learn anything, Mum, on YouTube. And I'm like, huh, yeah, it's true. Anything. You can put in English, you can put in Spanish, whatever. There is everything there on YouTube. Yeah. Absolutely. My daughter, Priscilla, is 26. Yeah, she's 26. But I always say, like, whenever I have problems, baby, what happened now? All the time. The other day, I because you know how I moved, the washing machine, it died. I used the washing machine like 4 times, and then the washing machine, it died. So, baby, hi, what's happening, Mum? Oh, the washing machine, it died. Oh, Mum, again? Yeah, I know. I said, okay. I'm looking at different ones, but I don't know which one. Mum, you don't need, because I was going to get used. I always buy used because they're cheaper. No, Mum, get new. Like every 2 years you're changing. Like, come on. It's like, yeah, but I wash a lot. It's true. Anyway, she helped me. We bought a washing machine. So, baby, thank you. Yeah. The washing machine arrived, and I thought, okay. They said to me, where do you want it? Oh, here. And the guy leaves the box. I said, wait, no. You need to take the old one and put. No, you didn't pay extra for the installation. Like, you're gonna leave the box? Okay. Anyway, they left. So Victoria and I, my other daughter, we started opening the box. We installed the washing machine, and she needed the clothes for work. So quickly, we washed very quick her clothes. Then Priscilla came to the house. Oh, can I have a look at the washing machine? Yeah, look. And she starts the instructions. Mum, did you read the instructions? No. Mum, you always read the instructions first. It's okay. It's like, you know, just plug in. They're very easy, you know, easy wash, done. Mum. Okay. So then she left and I started washing. When we're in the kitchen with Victoria and we start to hear tuck, 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 tuck. And I go, what's happening? What's happening? And she goes to me, Mum, I think it's the washing machine. We went, the washing machine was bouncing around in the bathroom. And it's, what do we do? Turn it off. Yeah, we turned it off. And I'm like, why is this doing this now? What happened? Okay, wait a minute, baby. The instructions. And I can't see. So I'm like, okay. And I start, I don't understand this. Yeah. So then I said, leave the washing machine, yeah? Let me think. And then I came to work and I Googled, why is the washing machine bouncing? And it said, and Priscilla said to me, Mom, she said to me, Mom, did you see here in the instruction? It says you must take out the bolts in the back. Don't worry, this is just standard. Don't worry about it. So when I looked on Google, why is the washing machine bouncing? And it said, did you take the bolts from the back? And I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, it was the bolts in the back was creating like a imbalance. So Victoria, come in. Yeah, and Victoria, she pulled the bolts. They're very hard, like with the rubber, very hard to take out. But she got them out and problem solved, But my daughter, and I said, oh, baby, guess what? And I said, oh, when you left, the washing machine was, I told you, you have to read the instructions. Oh, my God. So there you go. But I'm learning, you have to learn. The other day when I went to Bunnings to buy some, like a screwdriver, and I said, what size is the screw? I don't know. I know it's got like a cross. This I know. And it's, maybe buy like a set. These are all good for different sizes. Okay, yeah, sure. And he explained to me, he said, come here, look, you have this. Oh, okay. And I suppose that's how you learn, right? Yeah, I'm not going to be like a super handy person, but yeah, to understand. Okay, good. So we've got scissors and shears. What about these? These can be, as we said, shorts or trunks. Or trunks. Yeah. What about these? These, if you get into trouble with the police, right? And exactly. Only for the police tashi or for something else, huh? Right? Some people like this. For play. For playing. Yeah. Yeah. It's not only for the police. Well, you were remembering. You're remembering something. Yeah, these are handcuffs. Absolutely. Gotta be careful, huh? With the handcuffs. Yeah. Handcuffs. Trunks. Trunks. But no S. Okay, so with the S, it changes. That's a very good observation, because if I have like this, yes, absolutely, you're talking about the trunk of the elephant. But by putting the S, automatically it changes into shorts. Mm-hmm. It's a different concept. So yeah, that's pretty clever. What about these ones? So these ones, yeah, exactly. Because why? So look, like this, headphones, because they go on the head. Yes. You can also, so some people call them earphones too, because they go on your ears. But you know how you have now the other ones? So those are not phones, because the phone is connected. One. So two, but one item. That's why we call them the phones, because they're connected. So these, for example, that's why they call them the earbuds, or the what is it called? The AirPods and things like this, right? But yeah, can I just have a look at these? Look. So these, for example, these are not headphones at all. Why? because they are not for the head, but they are. So you see, look, you've got 2 in 1. Yeah, these are very old school. Just kidding. So you see, these are 2 connected. So these are the earphones. So they can be called earphones, earplugs. Some people call them earplugs because you plug them in. But they're the ear, but not head, because the head has to be like with the cups. Okay? So that's different. Yeah? Good. And these are not like AirPods, correct? Because they are connected by the cable. Yeah. Good. Thank you.
If airport can say airport, like one, just one.
You can say just one because people actually do lose them
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah, or some of them, like one of them is not working. And so sometimes they go, oh, I lost an AirPod. Or this AirPod isn't working, right? Oh, okay. So Tashi there has his AirPods. Yeah, or if you want to call them earbuds. So people call them earbuds. Now, why? Because effectively they go into the ears, but you see, as you said, Molly, they're individual. So you can lose one and then you have one, correct? Wireless. Wireless, yes. Okay. But I see a lot of people, that really like music, they use the headphones. Now, those actually are better because it protects your ears. When they like to hear music very loud, it's better with the headphones, sorry. So I'm going to put here headphones. I'm going to put earphones. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. What happens if you're in the in places that are very, very, very cold in winter? I imagine in Korea. Korea, correct, gets very cold. And so how it's very cold and they have snow, people go outside, they wear their gloves, their jackets, and they also cover their ears. But not to listen to music. It is to keep the ears warm. So this is what we call ear muffs. So for winter, for the cold, right? So these are definitely headphones because you can see here the cable, yeah? But if it were ear muffs, for example, let's go back to our Google. I always like to see images. So look at this. These are not headphones. These are earmuffs. Earmuffs for safety when you're working in demolition, in construction. But we also have, you see, these are also earmuffs. It's the winter earmuff. Look at these, the ear warmers, ear muffs. So you see, these are all ear muffs. So it can be for safety or it can be for the cold. And if I put here, for example, headphones, let's see. You see, this is more like the picture that we were looking for. Yes, here you have headphones, earphones, wireless. If we put in, for example, the earbuds, and there you go. You see, earbuds, headphones. They are different. Wired, wireless. Okay? So that's kind of like good to know. Because, again, if you go to buy, usually the salesperson will say to you, well, what are you looking for? What do you want? And so, oh, I want this, I want that, and you give the instructions. If you can be more detailed, more specific, it's easier for the person to help you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're using the call centers. Okay, what about these? This one is very old. We use them today in the bathrooms. They're digital. If you go to the gym, you stand. I kind of like, right? Right? Exactly. When you go to the supermarket and you want to, weigh the tomatoes, the vegetables, whatever, when you go to pay, also you must put on the scale. So these are what we call the scales. Scales. In the bathroom scales, absolutely. Right? The ones that you have in the bathroom? Yes. Okay. How many did you get? Did you get a lot? Yeah, you got a lot of, Yuki says I got a lot of those. Okay. No, because balance is, right? This is to have your balance, correct? So this is not the balance. No, this one, remember, is the old school scales. So this is a bit different because before you used to put the product, and so here they put, and when they balance, right, they go, this is the weight. Yeah? Yeah, exactly. These used to be the old ones. See? Now everything is like this, digital. But let me see if I can get an old school one. Yeah. It's always the symbol. Mm-hmm. Yeah, justice. This one. Remember, they used to in the shops, so they would put the product here, and let's see if we can see it bigger. Old-fashioned. Yeah, some people like these to collect them. So here you would use these weights and put here, and that would balance to see how much. This is very old. These are the weights. These are the weights to see how much. And then the babies, I remember. Yeah, the babies, they used to put like this in this system in Chile. In this system, they put the baby here and then put these weights and then work out how much. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Let me see if I can find something like that. I remember that now. Wow. Yeah. There you go. So you have this one. These are very modern. But before, when I had my first daughter, no, these didn't exist. Yeah, too modern, right? Yeah. But if I put here, let's say, weighing babies on scales. Let me see, on scales, old-fashioned. Old-fashioned means old, the old way. There you go. See? No, true. This is true. Yeah, exactly. I remember my first daughter and my son like this. And look, I remember my daughter and my son, they were measured like this. And look, not so long ago, I had my daughter in 1993 and my son in 1996. Sorry, I had my daughter in 1994. 1994, yeah. 1996, yeah, and my son. And they were weighed like this at the hospital. Yeah, very old school. Yeah. So there you go. You got different scales. Yeah, I remember this one too. Yeah, they used to they would move. Do you remember this? Yeah, see? And they would put here the weights and put more and more, like these were like 5 kilo, 2 kilo, 1 kilo. And so they had to like balance and they would put one and then another, and then, this much. Yeah, and this they move because these are like the 100 grams, 200 grams, until they got it. Yeah, true. Wow, I'd forgotten that. Yeah, by my third child, they were going on to the new system. Yeah, this one from number 3. But the first 2, like this, and this one. Yeah, that's how they used to weigh them. Like a package. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Anyway, good. Okay, now let's see. It says here, it says, make the verbs and pronouns singular or plural as appropriate. So here we need to see if they are singular or if they are plural. Yeah. And also we need to combine with the correct auxiliary. So here, look at this. It's talking about physics. Now, physics is a subject that they teach us at school. Physics is very much related to mathematics, correct? It's part of the science. So it says physics is or are a very difficult subject. Is. Because physics is a subject. I said is a subject. It's one subject. Yes, we write with S. This is the name of the subject, physics. So it is with S, but it is one concept, one idea. So we say physics is a very difficult subject. Now, darts. It says a good game. What are darts? Very common in some pubs in Australia. Still, yeah, I think I've seen like 1 or 2. Before, it used to be very common in all pubs. Yeah, so the darts are when they have and they bah, and they hit on the bullseye, right? This is what the game is, darts. And you get many. So let's say you throw, right? And you go boom, and then boom, right? Boom. So, okay, it's one game, darts, but you have many darts. So, darts is or are? Darts is a good game if you are bored and just want to have fun, or darts are a good game. You got to be sure. You can't be like is, are, guessing. Like, what do you think it is? Well, let me tell you. Look, you're not wrong. If you say darts is a good game, you are referring singular to the name of darts. If you say darts are a good game, you're referring to darts are to the darts, not to the name of the game. So, yeah, if we're talking about the game, we're going to say darts is, but referring to the game. If you say darts are, now you're referring to the darts. For me, I would prefer this one. Darts are a good game if you are bored, because you throw many darts. Here, economics. My best subject when I was at school. Okay, but it says, look, Jamie, economics, my best subject when I was. So is, was. Economics was my best subject at school. Maths, compulsory, and I hated each of them. So we're talking about when I was at school. It's in the past. Come on. So economics was, so maths is or was? Was. Also in the past. So economics was my best subject when I was at school. Maths was compulsory and I hated it or them. Why? Is it connected? Is it saying economics and maths? No, it's just talking about maths. So I hated it. And how was she going to hate the two when she says my best subject, but that one she hated, only one.
Okay.
So it. Okay, the news. Now, the news is very special. News for us is always considered in plural. If you say news with no S, it isn't news anymore. It's new. The word changes. So here, if we say the news were very bad, the news was very bad. So again, it's kind of like this darts. It depends on the interpretation you want to give it. We consider it usually plural, okay? But if you want to say, oh, the news was bad, I received some bad news, yeah? But even so, we say, I received some, so some is plural. See what I mean? But so here would be the news were very bad. I'm afraid. Do you want to hear it or them? So if I say, for example, the news was, so only one, the news was very bad, I'm afraid. Do you want to hear it? But if you say the news were bad, do you want to hear them? In this case, you would not use them because still the news is going to be your singular it. So you can change this one, but not that one. Do you want to hear it? The news. The spaghetti, be ready. I hope you're hungry because there are a lot of. So if it's ready, it's right now. So the spaghetti is or are? The spaghetti is. So no S, huh? We don't say spaghettis. The spaghetti is a collective. So I hope you're hungry because there, here we're going to say a lot of. So if it's a lot of, it's plural, then there are a lot of them. So the spaghetti is because the name is a singular, but the concept of spaghetti, there are many. So we're going to use are and then them. And here it's talking about looks. What are looks? Looks are features. When you see somebody, you've got good looks, meaning you have beautiful features, beautiful eyes, nose, mouth, all the characteristics. So it says looks, not the most important thing. And it says here, the most important, singular, singular. So looks, but here, because I have the S, we're going to say are not. So looks are not the most important thing. What matters is a person's personality. So these are the things you need to remember and you have to keep in mind when you are writing. You have to be consequent with the writing. You need to think. I see these mistakes all the time. People mix the singular with the plural and yeah, it's a mess sometimes.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Any questions, guys, before we move on? And remember, we saw last week the it, the them, right? We saw these as objective pronouns. So they're using that there. Same here. See? All of those objective pronouns. Okay, let's go to the next one. 22. So here it says countable and uncountable nouns with different meanings. Okay, let's see the first activity. So it says here, decide whether the noun in brackets is used, should be used as a countable. So here you need to decide if the item is in the context countable or uncountable. So cheese, for example. Cheese is an uncountable. But if I say a piece of cheese, now it is countable. If I say kilos of cheese, it is countable. What about here in Australia? You can buy the block of cheese or you can buy in slices, yes? So you need to decide, according to the context, do I put it in countable or uncountable? Yeah? I'm just going to, while you guys begin, hey, do you want to start with the first one? And I'm just going to go to the bathroom quickly. And so here, remember also, if you want to make something countable and uncountable, you can use right? Or some. You can also use if you want to make it countable. So not necessarily you have to say a piece of, or you can say or some, and it becomes countable. Yeah? Okay. Okay, how are you guys doing? Oh, wow, almost finished. Good job. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, let's check these. Okay. So here, okay, I'm going to do the corrections in a different color, yeah? So that you guys can see the difference. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to use, okay, let me use a purple. So it says, there was glass on the floor and I got a little piece in my foot. Yes, this is correct. There was glass. Now, if you wanted to be more specific, you could also say there was some glass on the floor. We are referring to glass as to the material, not a glass, right? When you talk about a glass for drinking. So we cannot say a. If you want to say, let's say a, then you could also say, as another alternative, a piece of glass. And so here you would have to say a piece, because if you say a glass, now we're talking about a drinking glass, not the material. Okay? So it is different. 22. No, because this one says I bought, now this one I like, some clothes is correct to make a dress. Oh, no. No. This one is incorrect. Sorry, this is wrong, because it says, look, I bought some to make a dress. And so what is this? This is the fabric, the material. So I bought some cloth to make a dress. If you bought clothes, then why do you buy, like you bought clothes to make a dress? That doesn't make sense. But you can buy cloth and make a dress. This one is, my sister bought me a big box for my birthday. It's chocolate. So here you would say, would you like a chocolate? Because they're in a box and you can select. It's like pick one. If I have a box, would you like a chocolate? Would you like a chocolate? Would you? Like take one, correct? This one. Would you prefer fish or chicken for tonight? Is correct. We're talking about a general concept of fish or chicken. This one, iron. So this is the iron for ironing. Is this a countable or an uncountable? It's countable. So what are you missing? And. See? Could I borrow an iron? My shirt is creased. I'm also going to give you another word, which is wrinkled. I think we use this word more. Wrinkled through being in the suitcase for 2 days. This one, okay. This one is correct. So there's a wood. Also, we say the woods, right? Which is kind of like a forest.
So there's a wood. If you say there's wood, you're talking about the material. But because you say so now you're talking about the forest. So there's a wood at the back of the house. Is correct. This one. As I arrived, I saw chicken, as in general, because it says walking around in the garden. So, is it countable or uncountable? Countable. So I saw a chicken walking around in the garden. This is correct. Did you buy paper for the computer? I want to print something. Paper from a general concept. We need some glasses for the orange juice. Some is giving you this idea of the countable also. Any questions? It's good? Okay. Can I erase?
Teacher,
Yeah.
some is for countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Countable.
Some is countable, but you know what? There's some countable. It's not specific. It's not telling you 2, 3, 4, 5. It's telling you some, as in more than one. That's it.
Okay.
It's basically some, for me, is like equals plural. And one. Some, more than one. 2, 3, 4. But how many? I don't know. Okay? So that's basically what you're saying. And here in this one, it says, say whether the nouns can be singular or plural, or maybe both. Sometimes they can be singular or plural in these sentences, and put the verb to be in the correct form. So, for example, we don't use so much or so many paper or papers. So here, paper is countable or uncountable? It is uncountable. It's a general concept. So I'm going to use paper as in this case, it's a singular. Now, why? Because if I say papers, now I'm talking about something different. So papers are documents. So it's not the same as the paper you put into the printer. So in this case, for this context, paper can only be singular. For this context, for this idea, yeah? And here, we don't use so much. So here, you don't say many because you're not going to use the S. We don't use so much paper since we started using email. It says it's singular because the material you write the letters on is paper. Again, if I say the papers, did you bring the papers? I'm referring to the documents. Totally different idea. This one, after the dog had been on it, there hair or hairs all over the sofa. So it could be both. You could say there was hair all over the sofa. So if I say there was hair, a lot. Yeah? But if I say there were hairs on the sofa, it's like me. Understand? There there was hair, full. I have to get the vacuum cleaner or, those lint rollers. But if there were hairs, I pick. Do you understand? Okay? So it could be there was hair, singular. There were hairs, plural. It could be both. But why is it different in the quantity? Okay, it's 5-2. Let's finish tomorrow, okay? So, we'll see this tomorrow. This tomorrow is going to be like mind-blowing. Because here, try to do one on your phone. Put pepper, see what happens, what it shows. We'll do one. We'll do one before you go so you can have a look. So, pepper and a pepper are very different. And this is the essence of why you need to understand what are you trying to say? Is it singular or is it plural? Because sometimes you can put singular, but you're saying something totally, totally different. So I'll give you an idea, huh? So you can go home on a sweet, happy note. Okay, look. Let's do this one. We're going to do number 3. Rubber or a rubber. So I go to Google and I'm going to put in rubber. And the rubber, as you can see, refers to the material. Yeah? So rubber. What's a rubber? So what's rubber? It's a material. Yes? Used for what? To make tires. In some places they make roads. But this is rubber. Yeah? If I put, let's say, a rubber, yeah? I fit it. Now, look what I have. Just because I put a, now it's what a lot of you call an eraser. But eraser is American. For Brits and Aussies, rubber. So this is why I sometimes, hey, have you got a rubber? Now, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is the essence of knowing the difference between singular and plural. See? Because, and this is when you say some. So if I go, I need some rubber, to patch the tire of my car, to say something. You're talking to me about the material, not this. But do you have a rubber, to rub out, to erase? Now, last idea, yeah? And you can go home. Look. So why do you think the Americans call this eraser? Because, let me see, in America, there you go. In America, this is the rubber. This is a rubber in America. So this is British. No, this is British. This is American. So in the movies, look, it says a rubber in British English is an eraser. In American English, a rubber is a condom. This is why in the movies, in the series, you see when they say, do you have a rubber? Do you have a rubber? Oh, I'm all out. Then, sorry, go home. Absolutely, right? So that is why. So be careful. If you're studying English in the States, hey, you got a rubber? Excuse me? Right? Okay? Good. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yep. Yeah. Fun. Okay.